waste that time, but he drops that.
Who are you on your club?
I said drop a bomb, Dad.
Yo, people, I am back and we have to talk about it because we've been covering it for a long time. Alexander Isak. That's the conversation we're having right now, and I need you to do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know how this goes. It's real simple. Hit the like button. It just goes up on the algorithm and stuff. It makes it better. Anyway, let's really discuss this because yesterday was breaking news. And Isak, he's a very clever man. He understands the greatest moment to go through things. PFA Awards, it's a show, you know, he's been nominated, he's meant to be there, and everyone wants to hear from him. Let me read what he says. I'm proud to be recognized by my fellow professionals with a place in the PFA Premier League Team of the Season, 24-25 season. First and foremost, I want to thank my teammates and everyone at Newcastle who has supported me along the way. I'm not getting to the ceremony tonight. Hold on. That's the first one. With everything going on, it didn't feel right to be there. I've kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken. True Geordie, Matty Renton, everyone. That silence has allowed people to push their own versions of events, even though they know it doesn't reflect what really said and agreed behind closed doors. This is where it gets interesting. The reality is that promises were made and the club has known my position for a long time. That's a big part of the conversation, right? But we'll keep going. To now act as if the issues were only emerging is misleading. I've always wanted to leave. When promises are broken and the trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. That's where things are for me right now. And that's why change is the best interest of everyone, not just myself. Signed, Alexander Isak. Now, crazy because as soon as that was done, Newcastle didn't waste any time. Straight in the chat, Craig Hope. Let's go, Craig. Because Craig, speaking up for the club. Let me go. And Craig says this. Boom. There you go. The tone and message from Newcastle. Wait, hold on. Tone and message from inside Newcastle changed last night. All summer, a sale has been possible. Not now, they say. Whoa. It's getting... Wait. The message that Newcastle stance has hardened tonight. Isak's statement is not being well received, especially after a summer in which they clearly explored conditions of a sale, considered his wishes. This is now crazier. So someone's lying. Somebody's not telling the truth. You've got Isak's side saying, I want to leave. You don't know I want to leave. Let me leave, but you're making me stay. Newcastle was saying, we're going to let you leave, bro. We just want the bread. Someone's not telling the truth. He's saying, no. You guys never open up the doors. Every time people keep coming in, you keep saying, no deal, we're not interested. And it's a surprise. This guy, do you know why this is crazy? Because he does have a contract. He is so difficult because you can see this from so many different elements, right? He signed a long-term deal, but he was given an agreement to leave the club, which they all know about. Now, if I come out and put out a statement, you're saying it's hardened it, you're not going anywhere. What? But you thought I could leave as well. Wait a minute, let's get this right. Let's get this right. Because my head's hurting. When Liverpool was talking about Ekitike, Newcastle was fully aware their striker wanted to leave. Why did they not just go and get Ekitike? Liverpool even said, hey, we're talking to this guy. We don't want to do this. You lot could stop. You lot could get involved and everyone's a winner. They said, nope, we're going to keep the both of them. knowing he wants to leave. He told you you're aware he wants to. You actually said we're being fully aware and we're exploring conditions. Well, the condition was there. How did you miss out on this? I ain't gonna lie to you. It feels like, well, both teams are fumbling right now. But Newcastle, you don't really cover yourself. You can't say you're covered because you've moved mad. You've got a player that did not go on the plane for pre-season. He didn't kick a single pre-season ball. That tells me, I remember the time when they thought, is Pogba, remember when Pogba wasn't sure if he wanted to stay at the club? And there was that whole thing of, is Pogba going to be on the pre-season plane? Because that would have told us everything. Pogba got on the plane, different. Yeah? But I never forget that because the plane would have told us what's going on, how the player feels. This man didn't travel or play a single game at pre-season and you believed he's yours? What's wrong with you guys? Literally, right now, I show you all the time, but this is you lot. You're calling the player and he's saying, I'm not interested. Now the window's going to close. What does he do? It's like, we're going to test his bluff. But he says everyone's opinions change. How does he become loved by the fans again? That's the real question. This is, you know what? From a Man United point of view, I'm kind of happy Isak's not going to Liverpool because I think football would have been a lot more difficult. But I don't know if this is the right thing to do. Honestly, this feels like everybody has been foolish in this deal. Everyone. This has been amateur hour. It has been. This is the amateur. It's an amateur display. I heard that Eddie Howe's brother's involved in transfers and stuff. They got that other guy that was linked to Man United that everyone said was the Sutton Mitchell. He was supposed to be there at one time. Bro, Amanda Stavely, whatever's going on in Newcastle, it doesn't feel, there's no confidence at the club. I think Bruno Guimaraes posted him in a Newcastle shirt, so he's pissed off. Straight after the statement, it's going down. Like, I would love to be in the Newcastle group chat. I like to see what's going on from the player's point of view, because at some point, he's got to rejoin them and play football. At some point, if he's serious, there's no way he's going to Sanchellini it. No, that's a stray for Sancho that he didn't deserve, to be honest. But you know how Sancho's just not doing anything at the moment? There's no way Isak is going to sit out the whole season. Can you even do that? Ain't that like a breach? Ain't he breaching contract now? These gentlemen's agreements, yeah? One thing we learned about this summer, this has been the summer of the gentleman's agreement. There's no gentleman in this sport. Snake's agreement, bro. Gyökeres thought he had one. Wissa's looking for one. I'm saying, oh, man. You know what's so beautiful? Man United are not involved in this. Usually, this kind of foolishness only happens at my club. Yes, we got players that don't want to leave, but we're not involved in every player that we tried to bring in. Sesko came in the right way. Mbumo, right way. Cunha, right way. Some of these guys, you got a question. Even when we tried for Baleba, Baleba said, listen, I ain't getting on strike. Right way. We need to learn from the strikers, because I know a man that went on strike and it ended horribly for us. Anthony. Never forget that strike. Just doesn't work. You can't leave your team like that. Now, I don't believe Isak would fail at Liverpool, but the way it looks things are going, you're not getting Liverpool. Now, Newcastle, is this cutting off your nose to spite your face? I can be petty at times. You don't know that about me. This feels like a risky decision. A very risky decision, but someone has to send a message. Players have gone too far with the power. They have. Players are doing whatever they want. And someone has to reset the clock. And is Newcastle doing that? And Newcastle saying, okay, You think you're going to put out a statement when you got years on your contract and you're just going to leave and play for Liverpool and you'll never walk alone? You think that's what it's going to be? Not on my watch. You're staying on Tyneside. Bite a grove in that. That's what they're saying. I don't know, man. This is mad. Alexander Isak, that game on Monday that you're not going to is going to be the wildest game. I expect a red card. I expect a red card, 100%. A red card challenge. That game is going to be feisty because Liverpool are also not innocent in this. It feels like they tapped him up. This feels like if ever someone's been tapped up, this feels like it. Because how can Isak take these actions for one club from pre-season? When did they start negotiating? When did he start talking to each other for him to feel this strongly and act like this? Liverpool have to get him out of there. They have to do everything they can. They have to keep going for the signing till the window closes. Yeah, they have to. And they have to come back in Jan. Because he's alienated himself from his fan base. Now, goals change everything. So maybe he scores a couple goals for Newcastle and all is forgotten, but this is nasty. No one can compare this to the Wayne Rooney one, the Rio. There's nothing like this. This is mad. Yeah, bro. The year of the strike, the year players not honoring contracts in that. Who would have thought we would have seen this? But this is the new football. This is where we are right now. You lot, let me know what you think, man. Get involved in the comment section. Who's wrong, Newcastle or Isak? Or Liverpool? All of them. Pass out the blame. Maybe show it me in percentages, but just get involved in the comment section. I want to hear what you think about this one. Everybody, thank you for watching. Stay blessed. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I am out. Peace.
Drop a bomb, 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 bomb.
Back with a vengeance. KG's back with an entrance. Big up to those in attendance.
Ooh, look at that.
Reds come together like Tetris. No rules, this one's reckless. None can compare with the KG done. Better take it when he drops that. Going on reckless, just it's on. It's that time when he drops that.
Bomb, bomb.
Who are you on your club?
I said drop a bomb, Dad.